dog that not only can keep up with Sonic, but can throw you, fly.
Yeah, nah, hell no. All I gotta do is remember that stupid boss fight on Sonic 06. It's no use. It's no use. It's no use. Fuck no.
As you can see by what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel.
Another video.
So as you can see by the title, I'm gonna be going over the top 10 strongest people in the Sonic franchise. Before I get started, don't forget to join my Discord right here.
This is for y'all niggas that don't know about the Sonic lore.
We are the #1 Sonic Discord server, but anyways,
okay, W.
So I can kill 3 birds with 1 stone. First, we're gonna go over who's their strongest in their base form, meaning with no power-ups, no Chaos Emeralds and stuff like that. Second, we're gonna go over the top 10 strongest of all time, dead or alive. Third is who's the top 10 strongest currently right now. Also, one quick thing before we start, we're only going to be talking about the characters that originated in the video games, but we are going to be dipping into the IDW comics.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering. That's what I was wondering when I saw this video. Was he gonna dip into Archie's? But okay.
Times because it
The
IDWs characters that originated in the video games and does show more from those characters. So grab your snacks.
There was a debate about Kratos versus Goku versus Sonic. I'm like, the fuck kind of debate is that? Off the top of my head, I want to say Sonic. I don't know how much Sonic scales towards Kratos.
Buckle up and enjoy the video. I need to stop. All right, so
of course, Sonic. Yeah, that's just off the rip. That's just off the rip.
Who are the top 10 strongest characters in the Sonic universe? Starting off with SBO.
Because it's like it's difficult because it's how strong are we scaling? I know like thingy is guard level, Omni guard level, but Kratos literally fought guards, which is like time guards, elemental guards, universe guard, like niggas that are holding the earth, the universe and shit like that, like Atlas, all of that. Like Kratos is fighting killed all of these niggas, bro. So if you get Kratos prep time, probably. Hell no, does Kratos need prep time? Kratos literally just wakes up and he's on smoke.
Number 10, SBO the Chameleon is actually very slept on. There was a point where Sonic and Shadow were fighting and he said, I could keep up with them, I just don't have the energy to do so right now. SBO's not a character in the limelight a lot, that's why I say he's a little slept on. He's teamed up with Shadow, Sonic,
yes he does, bro. A prime Kratos literally wakes up and he's on smoke. He don't need no prep time.
One of the Deadly Six members during the Metal Box.
Without Athena, he wouldn't be where he's at. I mean, if you're gonna say like story progression, you're gonna say the lowest version of Kratos before all of that, then okay. But if we're talking about prime Kratos, you put them right there. Like he doesn't need prep time. He literally could just, his prime version can literally wake up and be on smoke. If we're not talking about story progression, if he needs to, like before he meets Athena and shit like that.
SBO was the only one that fought alone one of the strongest Deadly Six members and took him down using his cool jitsu and illusions that he's able to do. SBO's a really smart character, obviously as he's a ninja, so he's really tactical in battle. SBO doesn't have a lot of L's, but he also doesn't have a lot of moments in battle. He's great with his words.
I kind of want to read the Archie comics.
You know, some sad moments. He's also made plans during Sonic Forces on taking down Infinite and his forces. So he's a pretty strategic person. On top of that, again, he's fought a Deadly Six member by himself. But yeah, when it comes to battle, the characters I rank higher than him have way better moments in the battle. For number 9, we have Bark the Panda.
You talk about from the fighters.
Strength and Sonic, they always think of Knuckles and sometimes Big the Cat, but you should be thinking of Bark the Panda. He originated in the Sonic fighting game, and during when the Archie comics were still canon, he was known as one of the strongest in the universe, top 2, with Mighty the Armadillo being number 1, and him being Mighty the Armadillo's biggest rival. Don't get me wrong, Bark and Knuckles are close in strength, but you gotta realize, Bark is a pacifist. He doesn't really want to do that much. He's a shy guy, he's described as, and that's why when Knuckles was fighting him, he was like, I know you're stronger than this, like, bring out your full strength, and when he did, they were going blow for a blow. And then after this, what puts the icing on the cake is that Bark completely destroys Mighty in their first encounter. Mighty spin dashing towards him, he grabs Mighty pushes him inside of a tree.
Damn.
He's gonna say, that's 2 out of 3. Now, why is this a
Damn, hold his ass.
Because Knuckles doesn't know if he's stronger than Mighty. He actually cucks down to Mighty. In the Tails Tube, which is the official Tales from the Games YouTube channel, yes. I was surprised too. This is actually the official Sonic Cast YouTube channel, so everything they say on here is complete and utter truth.
For his story and the game, even in his lore, most of all the feats he did was assisted. Kratos wouldn't have defeated Beast without Athena.
Basically a better version of Sonic. You know, he's as fast as you, and he can.
I mean, I guess.
Sonic, and that's
I want to scale him down like that.
So he's a better version of you. And then Knuckles is like,
So would you say he's stronger than you?
Who's next on your list, Tails?
Answer the question.
Oh, we can't talk about Mighty.
You know, Knuckles doesn't really know if he's actually stronger than Mighty. And I would, in my opinion, just straight up say Mighty's stronger than Knuckles. Mighty's not even able to take damage from spikes. What's on Knuckles' fist? Spikes. But anyways, Bark was able to beat Mighty in their last fight, with Mighty asking if they could do another round.
He didn't know how to get the Pandora's box. I mean, that's just a knowledge thing. We don't really talk about this knowledge.
And now Knuckles and Mighty have gotten stronger. Mighty is still known as one of the strongest persons.
We're not just simply just talking about knowledge now. That's literally lore. That's just literally just story progression at that point.
It's really been silent about him. They have not brought him up again, especially when bringing up strong people. So for number 8, we have Shadow the Hedgehog.
Shadow's 8?
Shadow is using a Chaos Emerald and is not in his base form. He's using it to stop time, teleport, use swords and whatnot, which really made it hard putting Shadow somewhere. Like, it's hard to rank someone in their just base form if they're rarely in base, you know? He uses the Chaos Emerald so much that even when he was trying to race Sonic, he decided to use the Chaos Emerald. And Sonic outright just called him a cheater. Like,
okay, so he's talking about without the chaos, so without chaos control and all that shit.
You're on chaos control. Hey, that's cheating.
It is cheating. I mean, like, Sonic is over here not using any type of extra power or nothing. He'll just race you with his born power, while Shadow, he has a lot helping him in battle. Now, the reason why Shadow is this low is basically because of his fight against Silver. During Silver's fight against Shadow, you can see while they're fighting, Shadow is using Chaos Spear. And then after the fight, you can see Silver and Shadow panting, out of breath, breathing hard, showing how high difficulty the fight was, but also relative these characters are. This is a base Silver that is highly relative to a
Fair.
Chaos Emerald.
You know what? Fair.
Shadow,
Because
of course needed to resolve.
I was in a debate with my friends yesterday about it was some NBA talk. It was like who's a better player, Kyrie or Curry, and then my friend just kept the argument. Which, like, I just feel like it's just like a disingenuous argument. Is when you say, "Oh, you take away Steph Curry's shooting, then Kyrie's a better player." But it's like when you say that, it's like, what the fuck are we doing? We're just doing hypotheticals. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? We're doing hypotheticals because we don't know what Curry is without his shooting, because we don't know. His game is literally revolves around shooting. So how would we ever know what his game is without shooting? So that's one, is a disingenuous argument. And then two, his game is literally brought around it. So you can't just take away his best attribute, because at the same case, if you take away Kyrie's dribbling, you can say the same vice versa. So it's like, what is the argument? If you're going to take away one of their best attributes, the other person is going to be better. So it's like, what's the point of making that as an argument? It's kind of a nothing argument. It's kind of it's a nothing point type shit. So in this point, it's like taking away Shadow's Chaos Emerald is kind of like taking away Steph Curry's shooting, because it's like that's a part of like his moveset or everything.
To use Chaos Control when they both were out of breath. You can tell that both of them were very much equal in strength up until, of course, Shadow used Chaos Control.
But if it's literally specific towards no chaos, no extra power-ups and shit, which is what the Chaos Emeralds are, then this is where it fits.
Without that Chaos Emerald, Shadow would have most likely lost this fight. It's safe to say that base Silver is stronger than base Shadow based off this
I hear that.
Unless you're one of those people that think base Shadow is stronger than Shadow with the Chaos Emerald, it's safe to say Silver's beating a base form Shadow. Compared to the other characters I ranked higher than Shadow, he has not done anything nearly as great as they have in their base form.
Fair. I was wondering why Shadow was so low, but literally base. If you're considering it,
the number one
I hear it.
rival of the main character. I hope you know he's not the only rival to Sonic. You know, he is one of the definitions of a rival towards Sonic, which is a person or a thing competing with another for the same objective or for superiority in the same field of activity. And in this case, obviously between Sonic and Shadow, it's speed. They compete against speed. No, they want to find out who's the fastest amongst each other, but that doesn't mean other characters don't rival Sonic. You don't need to be in a competition against someone to rival them. In fact, you just need to be or seem to be equal or comparable to them. And in this case, obviously Sonic. There are a lot of people in the Sonic verse that are comparable to Sonic. Read any of the comics or play any of the games, this should be obvious. Matter of fact, I just brought up SBO and how he said he can keep up with Sonic and Shadow. Now for number 7 is Silver the Hedgehog.
That's psychic. He's wait, what number is this? 7. This still feels low. What other characters are there in base? I'm forgetting a lot of characters. I guess we're gonna talk about villains and shit. So like Mephiles and everything. Metal Sonic.
Many objects like he did in Generations and just throw them at you. Now, the problem with this is that if you're fast enough, you're able to avoid being hit by his psychokinesis. Like he cannot grab you if you're fast enough to avoid it. We see this in the comics. You see this in Sonic Generations on, Sonic obviously beats him because he's just so fast. He's able to just dodge and completely blitz Silver. We also see this in the comics with Metal Sonic that I'll go over later. But Silver really deserves his flowers when he's in base.
More respect for Silver, man.
Base form Silver is stronger than base form Shadow. And for further, more simpler clarification,
that just feels like a hot take, but
Shadow, it's simply because
for the specific argument, it makes sense.
Had Sonic on his knees like this after a fight.
Is this a joke? How could someone like you cause the destruction of our world? What do you mean?
Shadow, on the other hand, pretty much needs one Chaos Emerald to compete with Sonic and Silver on equal grounds. Before I move on from Silver, would you rather fight Silver, the hedgehog that not only can keep up with Sonic, but can throw you, fly?
Yeah, nah, hell no.
He can hold, throw, and shoot.
All I gotta do is remember that stupid boss fight on Sonic 06. It's no use. It's no use. It's no use. Fuck no.
Projectiles at you while also being able to protect himself with a protective barrier.
It's no use. Ooh.
All I gotta say is Shadow doesn't have that much crazy stuff he's done in his base form by himself. That's all I gotta say. It's really hard to put him somewhere, but the safest spot is to put him right under Silver.
Yeah, if we're being specific to specific, base form.
We have Metal Sonic.
Here we go.
I know all my Metal Sonic fans know that he's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, nah, Metal Sonic nice as hell.
Shadow the Hedgehog in his base form was fighting Metal Sonic. He was
off topic.
A couple hits in, but then he went ahead and downloaded his abilities.
Yeah, nah, Metal Sonic is crazy. What John just got.
The coolest thing about Metal Sonic that you didn't know is that he's more of a rival to Sonic than anybody is. Even Sonic at his full speed can still be surpassed by Metal Sonic, but only for a little bit, but still, he's able to zoom past Sonic at his full speed easily. On Tales 2 number 4, they talk about this, where they say not only can Metal Sonic keep up with Sonic, but keep him on his toes.
The one robot that can not only keep up with Sonic, but also keep him on his toes.
Metal Sonic can fly, he has electricity attacks, he's very destructive, as he can power through anything he wants, even spikes, which Sonic can't do, not even Shadow. He has a move that basically makes him indestructible while also being able to copy his opponent's abilities. He even pulls up on Silver and Sonic and 1v2s them both, beating them up to the point where they start.
He didn't have to hone in on Silver there.
Silver resorts into grabbing and throwing him. After Sonic says, he's too fast, you can't use your psychokinesis on him. On top of that, he also can put a protective barrier around himself. And that's not even just the hedgehogs. Mighty the Armadillo, who was fighting him and was able to tank attacks like a boulder being thrown at him at point blank to the face and didn't move or flinch at all and just got up like nothing happened. Whenever Metal Sonic and Sonic fight nowadays, it never ends with the winner. It's usually Metal Sonic getting distracted or Sonic getting help from someone else or some sort of thing happening where the fight just doesn't finish. The fact that he was able to 2v1 Silver and Sonic and put that much work in, like he rammed into Sonic, kicked him up, and threw him into Silver. Like there's so much.
Yeah, Metal Sonic's really like that. Metal Sonic's tough.
But they actually couldn't. They were clearly struggling. Like if you look at every single
Metal Sonic is
Sonic
tough.
After the classic days, he's usually getting jumped.
Yeah. That's the only way to beat Metal Sonic these days, bro. He gotta jump this now. Or some JJKG.
The fight was clearly going to be in Metal Sonic's favor, but they get helped. Even when Metal Sonic was fighting Sonic on a 1v1 on the Wisp planet, Sonic had to resort to using Wisps. This is what I'm talking about. Metal Sonic is always getting jumped, and he really deserves flowers because he's very slept on. But yeah, Metal Sonic rightfully deserves his 6th spot place, as he's relative to a lot of the strong characters in Sonic, but most importantly, Sonic himself. He's relative to a Silver and Sonic in a 2v1. If you look at his character bio in Sonic Generations, it says that he's one of Sonic's few rivals who's came the closest to defeating him. That means even Sonic's quote-unquote biggest rival, Shadow the Hedgehog, hasn't even came as close as Metal Sonic to defeating Sonic. Now we're getting into the top 5. Starting
that was 6.
Place is Knuckles the Echidna. Knuckles arguably has the best
over Metal Sonic
in the Sonic universe. Starting off with, obviously in Sonic 3, he was able to punch a Super Sonic out of
base
form. He
over Metal
also
Sonic
goes on and fights Super Mecha Sonic, who uses the power of the Master Emerald, which is stated verbatim to be stronger and hold more energy than the Chaos Emeralds combined.
The Master Emerald contains special powers that neutralize the energy of the Chaos Emerald. That makes it very powerful. What the?
Yo.
It's better for Knuckles.
It comes.
Heavy King, who is also using the power of the Master Emerald in a one-on-one match and beats him. And even when Metal Sonic powered himself up with the Master Emerald, Knuckles came in and punched him in the face with no problem, with Mighty and everybody else sitting there like.
Yeah, that was a speed blitz.
Also able to sense
that was a speed blitz of hell.
And also use the Master Emeralds, which shows how much potential he has, which then the verse. What character is able to use the Master Emerald to shut off the Chaos Emeralds? He can also damage people that are intangible and don't exist in a physical way, like King Boom Boo. And he fought an Eggman in base who was using the Phantom Ruby, which is said to have more energy than the Master Emerald. But just in his base alone, he's able to contend with people that are in their super form.
Okay, yeah, no, fair. I was sleeping on Knuckles a little bit. I was definitely sleeping on Knuckles a little bit.
The Chaos Emeralds and fight against them. And just in case there's people asking, so why didn't Knuckles beat Super Neo Metal Sonic? All you gotta do is read the comic and you'll see that they really couldn't go all out in that battle because their bio data was just gonna get copied. That's why when Shadow snuck up on Neo Metal Sonic, it almost won them the fight. And as you can see, they also warned Shadow to be cautious because his moves can get copied. Now, like I said, he was able to go blow for blow with Bark, and Bark was able to just stuff Mighty and solo him, which is why I said before, by playing it safe, I said that Knuckles probably doesn't know if he would win against Mighty instead of being fearful of him, that he just has so many feats at their feet in his base form without any type of upgrades and abilities like Silver and everybody has. No. Now, you think I'd be done talking about Knuckles? No, there's more. So, in Sonic Heroes, there's this move called Volcanic Dump, and basically what Knuckles does is he punches
that
the
move.
ground, and volcanic fire spews out the ground. Yes, Knuckles is strong enough to punch the ground to where magma will come out the ground.
I find it so funny, like the Sonic Discourse is because like it just sounds so head ass. Like, oh my god, he can punch the ground and then lava comes out. It's like that just sounds so head ass, but it's like it is what it is.
Now name me one character that can do that. I'll wait. Yeah. You can't think of one. You probably said Knuckles again. Now for number 4, I got Mighty the Armadillo. But you can put Knuckles as number 4 too. But I personally was I just kept switching them over and over again. I was like, where should I put Mighty? But just based off of what happened during the Tails Tube, where Knuckles really didn't want to give an answer. And we know how egotistical Knuckles is. Like in his fight against Bark, he was telling him, I know you're stronger than this. I know you can pack a punch. Yo, give me all you got. But when it came to Mighty, he kind of like cucked down. Like he was like, I don't know. Yeah,
It's
next
not.
question.
I don't know about this,
With
big
the
bro.
modern version
I
of
want the
Sonic,
smoke.
by the way,
I don't even want that smoke, big bro.
Mighty, as a modern character, might be stronger than Knuckles. For number 3, I have Sonic. Everybody knows that Sonic is strong, so I'm not gonna really go that too much.
Number
into
3.
depth. He's known as the fastest thing alive, which helps him in every battle against.
Now this is characters. Is he gonna go like villains? Cause this is why I don't think he's gonna go straight villains. Like I don't know, like the Eraser Jane, Mephiles. But he did go Metal Sonic, so I'm guessing he's more considered like reoccurring characters.
All of Sonic's feats in base, but I'll go over his best. So we're gonna have to take a look at Sonic Forces, where he fights one of his strongest villains, Infinite. Well, for starters, when Infinite was introduced, him and his crew were taken out by Shadow using a Chaos Emerald. Now, remember when I showed Eggman after obtaining the Phantom Ruby and seeing how powerful it was, he didn't even want to bother with the Master Emerald anymore? Well, Infinite ended up getting way more powerful and surpassed the likes of Shadow, due to Eggman using the Phantom Ruby to create the Phantom Ruby prototype. So Shadow pulled up on Infinite, and Infinite tried crushing him in a virtual reality, and Shadow ends up breaking out but loses a little bit of his memory, doesn't even know why he's there, and Infinite basically viewed him as a weakling at this point, and from there on after went after Sonic. After testing the Phantom Ruby prototype that wasn't even at full power yet. So eventually, after Infinite gets stronger, Sonic ends up fighting him in a one-on-one battle, and he ends up beating Infinite in base, telling him I get stronger by the second, and makes Infinite leave, saying I'm gonna get stronger, Sonic, and I'll be back. Keep in mind, Infinite beat Silver in a one-on-one battle too before this fight. So because of this, I think that base Sonic is stronger than Silver and Shadow in base. The reason why Sonic is
I hear
over
that.
Knuckles is because Knuckles lost to Blaze the Cat, and Sonic and her are more like equals, which is what I'll get more into later.
I was wondering, yeah, what Blaze are we going to talk about as well? Because I feel like Blaze from the other Blaze from like the not Rivals, the Rush Adventure series is probably stronger than the standard version of like 06 version.
And even though Metal Sonic is the
Because
only
those are
rival
clearly
that
two
came
different
closest to beating
versions.
Sonic, judging by how he was cloned by Infinite,
Because Sonic was in Mortal Kombat, what would his be his fatality? His fatality would be on some slick shit, on some like he would like just picturing it will be like the Flash from Injustice. Like he'll run around the world type shit, come back and then hit you with like a spin dash. But we're talking fatality, so he'll probably knock you into the air. But he'll probably knock you into the air, then charge up a spin dash, knock you back down to the ground, and then he will probably like do a spin dash chainsaw in your stomach, and then until he like splits you in two type shit. Like he will do some slick shit like that. Like it will definitely be charged around like a spin dash type shit, especially if he's in base.
It would probably give Metal Sonic the beat down too. For number 2 is Blaze the Cat.
There we go.
Blaze the Cat and Sonic are
Yeah, now Blaze, especially Rush
If they did
Blaze is
it
crazy.
with her being from a parallel universe.
Yeah.
Sonic's, her shoes
I was
being
expecting her to be this hard, to be
similar
fair.
Sonic's. She's basically a composition of a lot of people from Sonic's universe.
Yeah.
She's strong as Knuckles and obviously the protector of her emeralds. She's as
Blaze is clean as Blaze is like literally top five.
She didn't like having friends,
character,
just
bro.
like Shadow at one point, and can have her own.
Like literally like he literally just like said a bit of it there. Character wise, she's literally a blend between literally all of the Sonic characters into one in her universe, bro. Like she's like Sonic, she's like Shadow, she's like Knuckles, she's like that. Like she's literally like, Blaze is a crazy character, bro. They're gonna go and do a 12 at the end, LMAO. Not too much. The Blaze was flirting with Knuckles. Was she? I think they were. I was like, okay, there is enough below it. There is enough below it.
Didn't like having friends, just like Shadow at one point, and can have her own air shoes, just like Shadow with her pyrokinesis powers. She can fly like Tails, and she's also smart like Tails, judging by how she already knew she was in another dimension at the start of Sonic Rush somehow.
Rush
Hopefully
Blaze
she's
is
got fire powers
fucking
like
crack to
Knuckles
tell.
too. So if you didn't know, Sonic Rush showed us that they are very equal. In
Yep.
their boss fight, when they're arguing, you'll play as Blaze and you'll beat Sonic, and if you play as Sonic, you'll beat Blaze.
Yeah.
The same game mechanic thing happens in Sonic Adventure 2 as well, because if you're playing as Shadow, you'll beat Sonic, and if you're playing as Sonic,
Knuckles got a lot,
you'll
that's
beat
why.
Shadow.
W
When
Lux
was
theories.
asked who won won that fight between Sonic and Shadow in Sonic Adventure 2, he said it was a draw. So it makes sense in Sonic Rush that the fight between Blaze and Sonic ended up in a draw. But in this case, this makes them equal because they're both in base.
Yeah.
In Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic was using a fake Chaos Emerald in that fight, while Shadow was using a real one, and still they had a draw. Not really making them equal in this case. My point of bringing up all this is that she would completely overwhelm Sonic in a base-to-base fight. With her fire powers, speed, and also strength stronger than Knuckles? In Sonic Rush, Knuckles was getting too riled up with her, so she slammed Knuckles into like the side of the mountain, causing like a whole bunch of rocks on him. And then he didn't get any help, or didn't even get out of there until Sonic came and helped him. And while it was happening, she was moving so fast, he didn't even know what was going on. Sonic's not doing that to Knuckles, but Blaze did. Another reason why I think she's stronger than Sonic is because she fights a more deadlier Eggman. She's from a parallel universe, which means that her and Sonic's universe share the same similarities. The only difference is, hers is like the opposite of Sonic's. Obviously, she's her universe's Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails, and Shadow, and whatnot. And her Eggman wouldn't miss her if she's gone. He's out for blood. Eggman does like Sonic. He actually would miss Sonic if he was gone, if you didn't know that. For example, during the final boss fight in Sonic Rush, you can see that Eggman was telling Eggman Nega to stop because he was going to try to kill Sonic and Blaze. It's also described on his character profile that he's a more deadlier and serious Eggman. Taking in everything
I can see why Blaze would be hiding Sonic in base.
For the number 1 spot, no honorable mentions because this video is already long enough, but it is Sage. She's the character in base, hands down. I don't want to hear.
Yeah. Because I completely forgot about Sage. I was wondering what character you were going to talk about. Fair. I'm not mad at that.
Anybody out with this one. She was created by the power of the ancients from Dr. Eggman.
Fair.
Was able to contend against death itself, also known as the End. Yes, the embodiment of death. She was fighting alongside with Sonic. She also can control the ancient titans and use them in battle, which are beings that Sonic is forced to go super to fight. She's also smart enough to run millions of calculations and find out the outcome of fights.
Sage tough as fuck.
And most importantly,
Everyone got the Joker type of love for Batman. Yeah, literally. I love that aspect of him.
And man, she already knew beforehand that Sonic had no chance of winning, even in his super state, without help from Eggman and her. Also, when she mastered the corrupted power of the ancients, she literally helped Sonic against the End, supporting him against attacks and adding on to his defense. Even the Titan that she controls is shooting and damaging the End. If Sage were to go all out and use all of her power against a base Sonic, I don't see him coming out alive.
Yeah, base Sonic, yeah, nah, GG's.
Harnessing the power of all the ancients. We seen what happened with Cyber Sonic when he harnessed the power of the ancients and he completely evaporated the Titan and destroyed the End. That power is too much for base Sonic to handle. She can teleport, use telekinesis, psychokinesis, and by the end of the game, again, can control the Supreme Titan who does crazy stuff and is on the level of Super Sonic. So now I'm going to go over the top 10 strongest characters, dead or alive, and this should be quicker than the last.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering if it was going to put it all in one video. Okay, cool.
Section. So for number
all
10,
time.
we have Iblis. Iblis represents the...
Okay, so we're talking about all the enemies too. Okay, got you.
Of Solaris.
You never seen Sage? You haven't played Sonic Frontiers. It's a good game, honestly. It's actually a really good game. I'll put it in my top 10. That might be wild to say, but I'll put it in my top 10. They need to put Sage on those tier lists, but not a lot of people know her like that. Yeah, not too many people know her like that.
That's why he's just stronger than Mephiles, because Mephiles doesn't really represent that part of Solaris. For number 9, we have Dark Gaia.
Dark Gaia, okay.
Quote unquote destroy the future, but he's able to be destroyed by most characters in base. The problem is that he has immortality, so they had to use 2 Chaos Emeralds to get rid of him and seal him away. While for Dark Gaia, it took all 7 and more. I don't even think Iblis is strong enough to fight the weakest Dark Gaia, who split the earth in pieces. For number 8 is Time Eater. He was going around manipulating
Time Eater,
timeline, destroying space and time.
And this is the reason why people be scaling Sonic so freaking high. It's not mainly, but a part of it is because of like foes that he had to fight, like Dark Gaia and Time Eater off the rip.
Stopping it. This is over universal. It took 2 Supersonics to take him out, and he could potentially destroy the whole timeline in like a day. People like Iblis and Dark Gaia are not touching this multiversal being. Number 7
I'm not that interested in Sonic because I never grew up on him. Ah, fair.
is the God Void. He's from
Who's
the game
this?
Sonic Shuffle, and he's the
Oh, I never
embodiment
played
of
it.
anger, sadness, despair, and emptiness. And he's the reason why the characters in Sonic even have dreams, even have the willpower to do things. And was going around destroying the 4th.
You're probably more of a Mario guy, weren't you?
Yes, he was defeated by Sonic, Amy, Knuckles, and Tails, but they weren't able to damage him. They had to use these special rocks. And on top of that, he was mentally nerfed throughout the whole game. You can see him just going off saying, I mean nothing. Why am I so lonely?
Why was I born?
Yo, get this game off my screen, bro.
For
This
number
janky
6,
ass
we have
game.
Illumina. Illumina is a goddess.
Isn't that from the
She's
Dream
the precious
game?
stone goddess, the guardian, and also the manager of everybody's dreams. It takes Illumina Flowlight and
Oh,
Void,
it's
two
from
beings
Shuffle.
to
Okay.
create Illumina. Illumina split off into these 2 beings because
Oh my god, I love this beat that he's playing in the
she
background.
basically became unconfident in herself, and it took like Sonic and everybody else to like, talk her back into becoming who she is again. And she manages all of the characters' dreams, even Sonic's and everybody else's. She's broken. Tails and even Sonic and even Knuckles and everybody says their dreams are the reason why they keep going. For number 5, we have Solaris. This one's an obvious one. Solaris was stated to
Yeah, Solaris is
be able
trapped.
to destroy
Over here
not only
playing
all
Saints Row at 8 years old.
That means the
Imagine.
4th dimension,
Yeah, you were a damaged kid.
where Illumina was at, was going to get destroyed. The whole Sonic timeline was going to get devoured by Solaris. That's pretty much all I gotta say, right?
Yeah, no, you ain't gonna talk too much about Solaris. Solaris is crazy as fuck.
Sonic 06. Infinite. Now I know this one's a controversial one, for, especially for him being over Solaris and stuff, because a lot of people think Solaris is the strongest being still to this day for some reason. I don't know why, even though people like Ian Flynn said that the end is the strongest right now, and
Yeah,
it's just
no,
obvious,
the end.
like,
Yeah,
literally the embodiment of death. But
yeah,
either
the
way,
end is literally it.
Infinite is stated multiple times to be Sonic's strongest opponent by the time Sonic Forces came around. That means after Sonic fought Solaris. Even with that, Eggman states himself that the Phantom Ruby holds more power and energy than the Master Emerald itself. And Eggman went on and said, I'm going to make someone multiple times stronger than all of Sonic's past villains. And who did he end up giving that power to? Infinite. Now, Infinite was defeated by Sonic in Base, but Base form Sonic said that he gets stronger by the second. But hey, if you want to put Solaris over Infinite, be my guest.
That one, I'd say that one's probably the most controversial one where people could probably be in his ass in the comments for this one. But I hear it, especially the fact that the Phantom Ruby is literally more powerful than the Master Emerald. So I get it. It's just the only thing that nixes it is the feats in it's like everything that's putting him above Solaris is like hearsay in terms of people saying, oh yeah, he's the strongest opponent than from what Sonic's has faced so far and all of that shit. And the thing that's stopping it, in my opinion, is probably just the feats. In terms of like we seeing the only thing that we're seeing, and again, I haven't read them Archie comics, but the only thing we've seen is him losing against Sonic in Base. Like he didn't have to fight a Super Sonic. He didn't have to fight a Cyber Sonic, a Super any other version of like Sonic or any other person. It was just 2 hedgehogs and an Avatar. So that's probably what nixes it, and probably what people will have like their counters towards putting them higher. But the power of if we're just talking like just playing out strength and not how you use it, just playing out strength, then I can see it being this high.
Information I got and what I found.
Yeah,
The 4th spot
I get
is
it.
Sage. Sage again is
Yeah,
one of
Sage
the
stays in the top spot.
Strongest Sonic boss of all time.
I'm what?
Yeah, that's really all I gotta say. I mean,
Use
I
a
already
damaged
wanna
kid.
watch Sage, and she's one of the strongest Sonic characters of all time as well too. For number 3, the end. The end is
3?
to be death itself. Already went over this. Sonic needed a Supersonic Cyber 2 form and all this other stuff just to defeat it. We never seen Supersonic get pushed to its limits like that until he met the end. For the top 2.
Are we going Sonic? Like,
1 and 2 spots.
hold on.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Because out here, I was wondering, the Sonic is literally up here, but what? Okay, yeah, cool.
I'm not trolling. Hypersonic and
Hypersonic,
Knuckles
yeah.
strongest
Yeah.
forms in these series using
Yeah.
the Super Chaos Emerald.
Hyper GG's.
Some people usually get mad at me when I say this, but like they never played Sonic 3 on top of that. But if you didn't know, the Super Emeralds are stronger than the Chaos Emeralds, and you need the Super Emeralds to reach a hyper form. And I know the hyper haters are probably saying, yeah, but the last time we seen a hyper form or the hyper transformation was in the classic days, and Sonic again has gotten stronger since. It doesn't matter, because if Sonic were to go hyper right now, if Knuckles were to go hyper right now in their modern forms, they would solo. If they were to go to another,
My only question is, and maybe this is just me not knowing all the lore, is like, is the Super Emeralds more powerful than the Phantom Ruby, for example? That's my only like question. Because I know the Phantom Ruby is more powerful than the Master Emerald, but like, how does the Super Emeralds compare?
Hyper Knuckles would still be.
Maybe I'm being stupid at it. It's obviously the Super Emeralds, but I don't know.
Ever seen the Sonic franchise? You guys can go check out my video on the whole hyper transformation and stuff like that. But yeah, time to talk about the top 10 strongest characters as of right now.
Just seen a nigga with 29,920.
If I were to talk about any of the characters, if I were allowed to, at least, without people getting completely angry,
it was more of like a question towards like individual. It was more of a question like individual towards anyone that wants to answer in the comments type shit.
Comics for some reason. If I were to talk about the comics, these lists would look drastically differently. But anyways, let's get into it. So for number 10,
and yeah, he's just staying in game.
Now in Sonic. And that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Damn, so we don't get a current.
Any questions? Make sure to join my Discord as well. Make sure to put down anybody
I'll use a bitch.
Or just put your list down at the bottom, if anything. Put your list, but yeah, this is just my list. This is just me.
This is cool though.
As most of a common sense I can to rank these characters, and I hope you guys enjoyed the list. And love you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for the views. Peace.
Made me the
Oh my gosh. That's the video. Peace.